Well, we're live. We're live without any intro, and we're live just here we are. Monday, the 18th of May, and it's just a couple of minutes past 7. I hope this message finds you well. I look like I'm not in the middle. I don't know what's going on. I guess I just wriggle my body a little. There we go. I'm not sure whether you can see me, but I hope you can. Welcome to those that are seeing us on Facebook. Welcome to those on YouTube. Welcome to those on Twitch and those on Instagram. I'm MJ. I am founder of Accessibility Partners, and as you can see below, I'm founder of MJ's House on Clubhouse. We began with an inclusion house, and then everybody got amalgamated into houses with their own names. If you don't know, I'm not in the middle. You see, I'm not in the middle. When I go there, I'm just going to have to wriggle around there. There we go. I'm just not in the middle. Now I'm in the middle. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. You might be able to see me now. Okay, so I am MJ, and I am live on MJ's House in Clubhouse. If you don't know what Clubhouse is, it's an audio media app. So people can hear me, they just can't see me like you can. You can see me. In fact, I can see me in both. I can see me both on a wide screen, I can see me on a phone screen. So whichever way you're looking at me, if I'm on the phone screen, I'm quite close. I hope you're okay. So let's get going. Look, it's Motivational Monday. What do we do here? Well, what do we do here? We motivate you. Why? Because actually, I need motivating. So on a Monday, we join together on Clubhouse and we motivate one another, she says, losing her screen completely and not really knowing what she's doing. Let me just move that to one side. There we go. That's a bit better. I lost myself. I think that's easy done, isn't it? Losing ourselves. Look, this week on Motivational Monday, I don't sound very motivational, do I? I'm not very, hey, let's go, everybody. I'm not. I'm really not. Because it's not about this week becoming a different person. It isn't. This week, if you look at what's going on alchemically, and by that I mean, astrology, astronomy, the energy, the universe, the way that the world is moving. This week is not about becoming a different person. We've got all that Mercury in retrograde and it's still hanging around going backwards on us. So it's about returning to ourselves this morning, but returning with less shame, with more awareness, and with stronger roots. The astrology this week, and I look at the planets. Let me just have a sip of my most incredibly famous coffee. If you don't know it, ask me. It's about nervous system integration. It's about grounded communication. It's about emotional honesty with yourself and other people. It's about practical beginnings, about the doing, not just the thinking. And it's about releasing that survival mode identity and rebuilding trust with yourself. So I'm going to give you 7 small practices for the next week, because it's not that you need fixing. Nobody needs fixing. But you do deserve support, right? You do. I deserve support. You deserve support. We deserve support. So today, and this is post me handing in my last assignment prior to my final placement yesterday, I want you to, when you wake up, both today and going forward, and you can do it today, place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. Do it before you even pick your phone up, right? Do it when you wake up. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And ask yourself what you need today. Put your own safety before that strategy. It's easy to wake up, right, and go, oh, right, it's Monday morning, I've got to get on with it. But that's not what I did this morning. This morning I opened my eyes, thanked the Lord I was still here, and asked myself what my nervous system needed today. And that's because on Saturday, whilst I was writing the beginning of my assignment, and really before I'd got into it, after a day of picking up the pieces from my week, unfortunately, or fortunately, after 17 years, my dog Lucky passed away. So asking my nervous system this morning about what I needed today was really important. I don't know whether any of you have ever lost a pet, but my kids worship that dog. He's been with us 17 years. He came into our lives at a juncture when we were just moving house, ready for my first disabled facilities grant, and yeah, he's meant a lot. In the first 6 weeks of him being with us, he fell down a cliff. I had a client called Martin, actually, and Martin came to my office and said, I can't do anything, my day's rubbish, I've got nothing to do, everyone hates me, blah, 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 blah. Really, really down, really discombobulated. The gentleman needed some exercise, wanted to exercise, didn't really have the motivation to do that. And I said, well, you could take my puppy for a walk. Just don't let him off the lead. And unfortunately, Lucky was only 6 weeks old. He just had his first jabs. And he was great walking on a lead. But unfortunately, Martin walked him on the only part of the seafront that didn't have a rail, and took him off the lead on the beach. He ran up the hill and ran straight off the cliff edge. It wasn't an easy morning. Martin rang and said, I've got your dog, he's had an accident, and he ran all the way up from the seafront with him wrapped in his coat. And Lucky was smashed to pieces. His entire back end was smashed to pieces. It took him 18 months to recover, and he walked on his 4 legs, lifting his back end above his head like a circus dog. And it cost thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. But Lucky was insured. I asked the vet whether keeping him alive was reasonable, and the vet said, I've never seen such a desire to live in such a little chap, or somebody so cheerful about being in such a difficult position. So this morning I put my hand on my chest, one on my tummy, and said, what do I need today? Well, I need to acknowledge my loss. I need to acknowledge the 17 years that Lucky gave my family the look that he did. Because boy, was that dog lucky. He was lucky enough to fully recover. He was lucky enough to sit with the only difference being one of his back legs just pointed out a little bit when he sat down. It looked like it was somebody who put their little finger out, you know. When they say, would you like a cup of tea? As a drink with my little finger up. He drank with his back leg just out a bit. And so when we do hold our hand on our chest and our belly, we connect with our polyvagal nerve, actually. And our polyvagal theory, if you don't know what that is, teaches us that regulation creates access to clearer thinking, to connection, and better decision making. So today, all I want you to do is think about removing one unnecessary stressor. Just one. What can you put away that you don't require anymore? Thinking about my own life now, and I think the one thing I can put away that I was doing before was worrying about Lucky, because at the age of 17 he'd gone blind and deaf and was shouting at the wall at 10 o'clock at night for an hour in his dementia state, but only for an hour, and then he settled down to sleep. But each night I wondered how he was and whether he'd settled for my eldest son who lives in our house, and how he was the next morning. So one unnecessary stressor now is worrying about Lucky. I don't need to worry about him anymore in his old age. He is with his friend Harry, who passed away just last year. So he and Harry will be energetically playing together in that place that all poochers go. On Tuesday, so tomorrow, I think we can clear the static. Your brain can't heal with constant noise, and I definitely need to heal from the loss of Lucky. Not this morning, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be spending that time in silence. So today, think of something to eradicate, to remove, to let go of, to release. And tomorrow, focus on when you wake, spending time. No podcasting, no scrolling, no doom reading comments written by people called Dave with anime profile photos. No prat reading, that's what I call it. None of that. Just spend 20 minutes in silence talking to yourself about, well, what the plan is. Because the theory is that cognitive overload reduces our executive function. It also reduces our emotional resilience. Why? Well, we've only got 7 slots in our brain. And if you've got 3, on trauma and a couple on this present processing, and probably got more than that, right? What you're doing next, what you're doing now, what's gone on, that's 3. Without having anything else ruminating around your head, rolling around like a marble rolling around a dish. When we let go and we release using that silence and saying to ourselves, there's nothing I can do about this. I have no power over it, and therefore it is what it is. We don't know when Lucky's ashes will be with us, but we know there'll be a celebration in our family about the 17 years of absolute commitment he gave to me and mine. To reduce that cognitive overload and increase that emotional resilience. Write down today and tomorrow. What is it that drains you? What is it that restores you? What drains me is rumination. What restores me is action. And then believe your own answers. And also, when you ask yourself that question, ask it instantly. Ask your brain to answer you quickly, because you won't be filtering the responses. Believe yourself and carry it on. It's good to see you on Facebook. Good to see the people joining. Look, on Wednesday, once you have decided what drains you, released it, written it down, decided what things lift you and what things don't, move your energy. Wednesday is about moving. You've gone from awareness to stillness to action. Look, every morning, it doesn't matter what you do, shake your arms around like a haunted Victorian child. whatever works. Dance, stretch, walk, move for 10 minutes, do your 100 sit-ups, use your TheraBand, stretch your arms into the air. I don't care what it is. It really doesn't matter. Do what I'm doing now. Do what you can, not what you think you should. 10 minutes. Put some music on. Jiggle about. Doesn't have to be purposeful. It can just be movement. Shake your body. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake that energy that's sitting stagnant within you. Whatever works. But this week, start moving. And we're giving you plenty of notice. It's 2 days. 2 days before I'm asking you to start moving. You never know. You might even move today. You might move tomorrow. You might move on Wednesday. Whatever works. Because trauma research shows that our body stores stress. And it responds physically to that stress. So before you overthink about it, move. Even if it's 10 minutes to your favourite music. And I like to play my own music. I've got an album out on Spotify. I had a release on the 12th of May, which is Breathe and Begin Again. It would be great to use for you tomorrow morning. Release and Remember. And then there's some others on there that might be okay for the jigging about. And I've got to say, maybe I just need to make some quicker tracks, ones that I might be able to motivate myself. I might do a Motivational Monday track, you never know. Something a little more fast paced. I tend to be very much in contemplation and reflection right now at the very end of this 5 years of study. But yeah, Wednesday's task is moving without thinking. On Thursday then, remember Monday, we're going to find out what's going on. What turns us on, what turns us off, what motivates us, what drains us. Tuesday, we're going to just spend some time in silence thinking about that thing that drains us and what we're going to let go of. On Wednesday, we're going to start moving that energy. Oh, don't know why WhatsApp's just quit unexpectedly. Oof, how exciting is that? It was probably overthinking. Move before you overthink on Wednesday. Move every day before you overthink. I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and move. That's what happens to me. But Thursday, speak your truth. Okay? After you've let go of all that energy, you've released that thing that's keeping you down, you've contemplated on it and really gone into silence and decided to ask your brain what it wants. Speak your truth. This period of time between now and October is about the truth. Send that message that you've been meaning to do. Have that conversation. Say the boundary kindly but clearly. I think Brené Brown work here, her work on shame and vulnerability reminds us that authenticity builds connections. It builds connection. It doesn't build perfection. It should never build perfection because perfection's boring, right? Say what it is that's doing your head into that person or thank them for what they do. Send that text. Say what's happening. Replace "I'm fine" when you're not with honesty. Say what you need to do. Say what you need to say. Say it with kindness and say it with action. On Friday, I want you to think about receiving. I've been thinking about receiving a lot this week, about whether I am just a giver or whether I can receive too. And I think I've got my giving out of balance. I think my receiving needs some work. So this week, my Friday is going to involve telling myself that I do not have to earn rest. I'm going to speak my truth all week. I'm going to move all week. I've already contemplated what I need to let go of. And I'm talking about him now. I'm not staying silent about it. I'm speaking my truth. So on Friday, I am going to do something nurturing without any productivity attached. Maybe that's listening to some music. Maybe you should look up MJ Lace on Spotify. Maybe it's having a cup of tea. I've certainly got some green tea. For those people without it, give us a shout. I can hit you up. I can hit you up with Organo green tea any day of the week. I can also manage the royal coffee as well. And not because I've just popped it on order, but because I've already got it. It's in this cup. I'm going to allow myself something nurturing without any productivity attached. I'm going to drink my coffee. This mug actually is the Organo. You get it for becoming something or other in Organo, selling so many Organo products, and I enjoy selling Organo products because I enjoy taking them. I wake up in the morning and take 6 spores. I do. And that's without my coffee later on. And people wonder why I can do 18-hour days. I'll tell you why I can do 18-hour days. Because I am fueled by mushrooms. I am fueled by reishi mushrooms, Ganoderma lucium, the mushroom of everlasting life, or shiny skin, as they call it. And everybody comments on my skin. Taking a nap on Friday is okay. It is any time. I tell you what, there's a couple of great theorists, I'm not sure whether it was Einstein or another, used to sleep with a metal ball in his hand. And then when he dropped off, he would go to catch it again because he'd hang it over the side of the bed or the settee. So he had micro naps, and I can nap for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Practicing micro naps and waking up after a specific time is a really great way of training yourself to rest. No productivity attached, maybe a little bit, being I can wake up when I wish. But practice makes progress, right? It does not make perfection. So on Friday, a cup of tea, some music, a walk in nature, a nap. Sit dramatically staring out of the window, pretending you are in a BBC drama. Let me think. What is it? How can I solve this problem we have? However you want to do it, because rest isn't laziness. It's biological maintenance. Do you know that we lose weight while we sleep? We do. That's when we lose weight. We lose weight when we sleep. You think you're doing nothing. You're not. You're losing weight. You're using all of that energy that you've used all day. And now your body is deciding how much fuel it's got and how much it wants to utilize. Rest is recuperation. And Friday's task is do one thing slowly. Once you've done that fun thing, do the next thing steadily. There's no rush, because progress is progress. Now, by Saturday, you are going to be ready for this. You've already stopped. You've contemplated. You've released. You've moved. You've decided to do one thing for you, and you've acted on that thing you knew you needed to do. So on Saturday, release yourself. You can't carry every version of yourself forever. You can't carry the same version of yourself that, I don't know, went to the fairground ride when they were 13. Write down on Saturday with a bit more time what you're outgrowing, what you're grieving. I'm outgrowing this course. One more placement and I won't be able to do this course anymore because I'll have completed it. What am I grieving? Well, probably the loss of this training journey, because then I'll be that, in inverted commas, professional. So I'm going to look forward to this next phase. This is the last time I won't be a qualified social worker. And so I should enjoy the fact I'm still a trainee. I actually always enjoy the fact I'm still a trainee because I'll always be learning. But I've realised this is the last possible 6 months that I'm going to be in training. So it's a precious time. What am I grieving? Well, I'm grieving the loss of our Doge. I'm grieving the loss of Lucky, but not for him, but for me. I'm grieving that I wasn't with him, but my boys were, and my girls were, and they were with him, and they loved on him, and he knew them, and they loved him. So I'm asking myself on Friday, what am I ready to stop apologising for? What am I ready to admit I'm grieving? What am I outgrowing? Well, I'm outgrowing being a student. I wonder if this will be the last time. Who knows? What am I grieving? Loss of yesterday. Well, guess what? I've got today, so I ought to really move forward with it, because yesterday's gone. And what am I ready to stop apologising for? Well, I'm ready to stop apologising for being a fully functioning, sentient human being. I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry, that I feel, that I think, that I move in this way. When you've written it down, burn it, rip it up, delete the note on your phone, bin it. Because that which you're outgoing, you can let go of. That which you're grieving, you can release and settle in the knowledge that what you did was enough. And what you're ready to stop apologising for, you don't need to say sorry for again. The theory of this is that ritual and symbolic release support that emotional processing and closure. So today, or next Saturday, if that's when you get round to it, you could do all of these 7 in one day, right? Let's remember that. Stop rehearsing the old pain like it's still living here, because it ain't. It isn't here. It's gone. It's done. It's put to bed, and there is no point in ruminating about it. Once you've done that on Sunday, use Sunday as your reset. Day of rest, day of God, day of whatever it is you want to do. But this day, those small aligned actions create new futures. Write a letter from your future self 1 year from now. I dare you. I dare you. I'm going to. Write what they survived. Will she survive her placement? Write what they stopped tolerating. What you stopped tolerating. What did I stop tolerating? Well, I stopped tolerating being small. I stopped tolerating saying sorry for my disability. I stopped tolerating the ideology that I am not enough. And what finally bloomed? Well, this time a year from now, I should be graduated. Let's see. That letter to my future self is going to say, you survived it. You went to your last placement and you thrived. You did not tolerate lies. You tolerated only the truth. And what bloomed? Well, your professional competence. Future self visualization improves our motivation and our emotional resilience and our goal alignment. Seeing myself graduating will feed me forward. Yesterday, when I was completing my last 3,500 word reflection, it fed me forward. It made me look back at level 4 and level 5 and level 6. And actually there were 2 level 4s. There's a couple of level 5s. And now there's a couple of level 6s. It literally has taken me 6 years, this degree. Longer than a PhD. And yet it's an undergraduate degree. So visualising the end of this will improve my motivation through this next really quite tough 100-day process. It will increase my emotional resilience and it will definitely align me straight down the line, as my dad used to say, to my goals. So on Sunday, choose one next step, not the whole staircase. Write the letter to yourself with what you want for the next year and then put it away for a year. A year on Sunday, look back. I went to a wedding last weekend, and what a beautiful process where each table got a card. One a year from now, one 5 years from now, one 10, one 15, one 20, one 25, and one 30. And a wedding anniversary card was written for the happy couple. All those times. We got the year's time. And I loved saying, look back at what I wrote to you a year ago. Look back at my wish for you. Look back for my alchemic, magical dream for you a year ago and see what has transpired. Just choose one next step, not the whole damn staircase, just the next honest step. Because this week isn't about being superhuman, because we're not, right? Lucky wasn't superhuman, although he managed 17 years after they never thought he'd survive falling off a cliff and smashing his back end. So whatever's happened to you, let's not imagine it's over until the fat lady sings, eh? They say. It is about becoming integrated. Mercury in retrograde and all that's happening astrologically right now is about integrating, really integrating everything you've ever learned. That of your mind. What have you been thinking, learning, believing? That of your body, of your spirit, of your action, of your rest, of your truth, of your hope. What do you want? What do you feel? What do you know? What do you need? Who are you? What do you hope for? And is your mind planning what your body does? What you eat, what you drink, when you sleep, how you think, how you talk, how you poop, actually. How you eliminate negativity out of your life. How you move. Or is your body acting and your mind reacting? Because healing isn't linear. Growth isn't always visible. The growth that I do first thing in the morning, people don't see. They don't see the words I write. They don't know the thousands of words I've written in the last 9 weeks. I think I've written 10,000 words in the last 9 weeks. Because my worth was never dependent on my productivity. My worth is dependent on my awareness of who I am, how I'm moving through the world, and how I feel about that. So this week, it's about going gently. But it is about going. It's important that we move in action. Not in that linear way, because our growth and our recovery and our growth and our recovery is a spiky profile, isn't it? My overcoming, look, his passing won't be visible. Neither is my grieving. And he never placed any worth on my productivity, just on my presence. So today, be present for yourself. Give yourself an easier time this week. Go gently. And remember, you could do all these 7 things in one day. There's no reason for you to make it over a week. Just literally regulate, first of all, and clear the static whilst you're regulating. 20 minutes, what do you want to let go of? What do you want to keep? Move a bit and speak your truth, both to yourself and to other people, and then accept that you can have without effort, whether that's a song or a dance or a cup of tea or a nap or being that BBC drama, staring out of the window. I think that's what I'm going to do on Friday. And remember on Saturday to release what you're outgrowing. Get ready to be no longer apologising for the thing that you are, and accept what you're grieving. Get rid of that information that you're letting go of. And on Sunday, write a letter to your future self 1 year from now. What did you overcome? What did you finally stop tolerating? And as a result, what finally bloomed for you? It is about taking one thing one step, one movement, one action, one decision. I decided yesterday to grieve whilst I was writing. Once upon a time, I believed that grief had to be a separate thing, that I would have to stop in honour of that entity that I was losing, that I should stop and grieve in a messy, unproductive way. But do you know, grieving yesterday was about action, was about continuing, was about preparing for what's coming. Because look, he's with me. Whether or not he's in his dog cage at West Square in Scarborough, or whether he's here as part of the whole. Maybe he's closer to me now than ever he was. Maybe that's why he had to go right now, so he could be with me and walk alongside me, metaphorically, during this last placement. I definitely have a Lucky next to me from here on in. So everything's the way we look at it, right? I'm not taking the whole staircase this week, I'm just taking the next step. And the next step is to include Lucky in my life going forward, to get ready for the next journey that I'm moving into, and to accept that I don't have to rush, that this is life and life's for living, and whilst I'm living it, I ought to be enjoying it. And that which I'm not enjoying, I can let go of. If there are people around you that don't make you feel happy, but you don't need them, why are you ringing them? Why do you keep engaging in them? Why not just let them go and see what happens? You know, that which is for you doesn't pass you by, I find. And so if somebody isn't doing too good at the moment, don't have anything to do with them for a while and see what comes back. Just an idea. I've certainly had to let go of some toxic relationships over the last few years, and my life is better for it. If respect is no longer being served, then you know what they say, don't you? Leave the table. Because we're not superhuman. We shouldn't have to put up and shut up. We deserve the integration of what we think, how we feel, how we love, what we do. We deserve to feel peace when we're resting. We deserve to walk in truth. I said last week to a case manager, actually, at Access to Work, because that's what we do for a living at Accessibility Partners. And I am founder of Accessibility Partners. It says so on the screen. If you want to find us, we're at .co.uk. I said to a case manager, the truth and I have to walk closely together. And I'm just not sure you brought it with you today. Because I have hope that when we work with these people and we say, look, this is how it is, their humanity reaches out back to us and for our clients. So for those of you in the UK who know somebody, who are somebody with a disability, physical, mental, learning, chronic, you name it, anything that lasts longer than 6 months and substantially affects you on a day-to-day basis, and that can be the way you think and feel, right? Access to Work is for you. It's for the beyond reasonable adjustments for work. And if you're not working, talk to us, because being self-employed is a really good thing to do. It gives us those hopefulness steps, right? The fact that you're building something, planning something, designing something, deciding something, doing something. It's good for our mind, our body, our spirit. Our action steps are important, as is our rest, because that's what brings us hope and the truth about who we are. So if you're not in work but you are disabled, have a look at accessibilitypartners.co.uk, or the short version if you can't spell. And many of us don't know how to spell accessibility. It's a bit of a dyslexia assessment, to be honest. If you just go to www.a, the letter, number 2, A2W.me, stands for Access to Work Me. Access to Work is the beyond reasonable adjustments. The reasonable adjustments are ones that the workplace put in. But if you're your own workplace, then we can talk to you about that. And if you've never been self-employed, It really is the way forward. An entrepreneur, that's what we call them here. Not an entrepreneur, because we're ultra, right? If we have a disability and we choose to make something of ourselves. And, one of my side hustles is this coffee. It might be that you just want to sell coffee, drink coffee, sell coffee. I say just. This is the mushroom of everlasting life. Maybe you want to share life with other people. I do every day. Without really selling it. It sells itself and the money pops in my bank account. But I sell something I believe in, that I know is my truth and I know has helped me tremendously. So for those watching now, if you do want to hit me up for some coffee samples, you're welcome to. I share my coffee with everyone, whether they're with me or they are through the postal service, because I love feeling, hearing and knowing what that coffee does to them. And tea, don't forget, I said green tea. And red tea, I believe, is around as well. There's also chocolate and mocha and latte and royalty and king tea. The king's got the spores in it. I take the spores by capsule, but the king's got it in. So if you fancy a cup of king, this is royal, of course, because I am the queen. The queen of Organo is what I feel like. But that's only because I drink it every day. And I've babbled on a little. It's already 7:44, so we've only got a few minutes really to speak to our guest this morning. And I see James is alongside me here on Clubhouse. And I'm just wondering, James, how you are and how things have been going for you this week. Are you there? He's maybe making that coffee. Yeah, I think he is. I think he's making his coffee.
It wouldn't have Mike. I was talking to myself. And it wouldn't Mike.
Good morning.
Oh gosh, when you're trying to multitask with that kettle and you've got you're having to run into the other room because you've got music playing and and the washing machine's going, and I'm trying to stay out of there because it's making such a racket, that machine. But it's right next to the kettle, and I need another brew. But yeah, because it is the best coffee you can get your hands on. Certainly, I know when I was forcefully removed off that coffee because that brand's not available in that hotel, I had to go for quite a while. I think about 8 or 9 months. So I don't know if it was as painful as childbirth. Being a man, I can't really describe that. But that coffee was absolute shite. And it was organic as well. Some tiger or lion's mane or something. Didn't have lion's mane in it and all that. It was blooming garbage. And room service was shocking as well. You'd be ringing and no person. Not a person in sight. I mean, to be fair, they had a sense of humour about it. Yeah. I'd have a laugh, but I wasn't one of them crybabies that would be ding, 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 ring, ring, and then set everything on fire and any other shit that they could get up to. Just what a bunch of knobheads. But anyway, that's so funnily in my past and just so beautiful at the moment. And I've come out for a bit of fresh air. I can hear the birds singing, and I'm thinking, you know what? It won't be in a rat-infested driveway soon at the side of the local supermarket. It's like when all these city folk talk about rat runs, I just look at this 500-meter grid with all these holes drilled in it down the thingy, and I think it's like that. Catch a rat at the at the fun fairs where you with the big hammer and I think that's another thing these days is them bouncy rides at the fun fair. They shake my bones to pieces and just some parks just ordered one down south and I'm like, it's not making me smile, just like that one in Staffordshire. It's really, why have you gone for the cheapest thing that in like 2 years' time you'll be regretting it because it'll be rattling like it'd be rattling like them folk I used to know, but that's another story anyway. But funny story these days, because some of your toughest challenges, I always think these days they're your blessings, because once you've overcome them daft little things like that are no fault of my own, at least no faults that are going around the UK at the moment from these glorious landlords that are out there. My God, the UK has been blessed with landlords, and now that we've got some updated rules, they all seem to be having Movicol type side effects because they've got to pull the finger out. So I would say blessings to all of these guys and girls that have got all of these places that they've not done any maintenance on, and harangued the disabled as he walks over these crippling steps, trying not to fall and twist my knee like I did a couple of weeks ago. It's got that bad that I couldn't go swimming for a week, and now this week, with all the finalising a full forensic examination of it, so there's not a single fault, because I know what he's like. He'll be all over it, and I keep spotting little bits, and I think, well, we can do that. We can get the roller out. We can sort that. But this week's plan is really going to lift me up. I'm sure of that on Wednesday. I've been actually, because I've not been swimming, I've been using a couple of the Therabands and big lacky bands, just to get that upper body movement. Because all my dumbbells are in the container, so I thought, you're doing, and because the knee's not great, I've been sitting a lot and elevating. But I thought, well, you can do chair exercises, because that was one of my fellow occupants at the Palace. He when we room shared, because it was a bit overcrowded in that hotel. Like I say, the room service wasn't so great. I believe it's got worse at the moment, but that's not a surprise with the legacy that we're left with. But I've been doing chair exercises, and I know, one of your team a long while ago, and I can't remember now who specifically stated it to me, but I only did 2 of the Zooms, but there was a lady who was doing full wheelchair upper body exercises and in Zoom meetings, and that was her. She used to be a proper gym before disability kicked in, and she carried on with the same, just doing upper body range instead. And I thought, that's a brilliant way of retaining the knowledge that you already had, but refacilitating it. And exactly. And she does these Zoom meetings, and this is what your company does so well, is when they listen to the clients, which they do all the time. I know obviously you've got everybody's information extremely well filed, so that you can dip into that information and see the patterns. But when you're specific with how you've been with me since the spinal injury, we've had to change a lot of things that I've been up to. A lot of swimming now, but as I say, the last week or two I've not been able to put that much on with how this is all kicked off here. I thought, well, I love decorating anyway, so I'm not say it's a bad thing, because it's just reminded me of my decorating skills as he looks round and he thinks, well, when I worked at that radiator factory, all you used to see was white things going past you all the time. I suppose like recent marches in London maybe, but wearing different outfits and not being as polite at the very least. Quite hideous and horrible, really. But I'd see a great video at the weekend of one of these mobile TV screens getting attacked. A bit of Boy George on it. It was it did tickle me. I thought, that's clever, that. Them donkeys, what they do. It's quite clever. But I've got a bit more of the touch-up for doing here, because I'm spotting colour cloud patches in my magnolia and
a few reminding you, ready for your next place when you're moving and decorate.
Well, that's it. When you're doing such a dull, boring canvas like this, it will, in my mind, go, well, the next place is not going to be Builder's Beige Sunshine. And I got a pot of Johnson's, actually, of all mates to get. I'm thinking of a dodgy haircut when I say Johnson's, and a bit of a buffoon, fiddling buffoon, really. But it does upset me to say that as well, because I am a son of a John, but a fairly useful for the time that I knew my dad, are really, really useful, because he inspired me on he was great at decorating, with it being a draftsman. He had that fastidious nature, almost like some people would say, really retentive about how he went about his decorating. But it's just skills that, like if you knew carpenters, you would have them same skills of measure twice, cut once, and all those typical statements, because it saves you so much money by having the right foundations. And this is what I'm noticing with the bicycle shop. And my Unio red-handled tyre tools come. There's another one due to come, the latest version for these. Some of these tyres are really hard to get off the wheels. Like how you see them in the big garages. Well, we've got like miniature tools for that, for bikes. And I've had that many crushed and bruised thumbs and fingers. I thought, no, get my own set. So buy the best, because that was what one of your coaches many years ago, Marie, she said, when you've got a little bit of money on one side, sunshine, get some tools, spend. As she said, maybe not buy the bicycles. Well, obviously I've got selective hearing. If you're a cyclist, you'll know this one. But there's always a new bike. There's always a new, I suppose ladies would say, there's always a new outfit. And well, hopefully with that, there's always a new bit of underwear. But that's another story. And yeah, I'm feeling really blessed this week, because I've got everything now around in this room. I've got everything where I can sort every storage box. So when it gets shipped off to the container, it's all stored. I've just got to get some big stickers or something. I might actually just cut up this. Got about 15 sheets of timber here, thin ply, really single ply, and it's about 12 sheets of that. I might just cut them up into 4, because they're about a foot square. I cut them up into 4 on my little saw. I can cable tie them onto each box with a sticker on and put a description on them. But if I get some old cardboard, I might just do it the easy way. Cut up some old cardboard boxes with a Sharpie, and then I've got some coloured Sharpies, so I can write all that on it. At Blackpool, I treated myself to a zigzag Sharpie trick. Do you remember the old zigzag cigarette tricks the magicians used to do?
I don't.
Well, it just takes the middle out, like the woman cutting the woman in half in the box.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but it's miniature, pocket size. Well, I got a zigzag Sharpie, and to be honest, it's still in the box, because some of my magic tricks, as magicians will know, just stay in boxes. And then all of a sudden, once your filing system's right, you can pull them to one side and entertain your friends, just like we've been doing this morning. It's the fun with the mess in the middle. And certainly there's not as much mess here now because of the filing systems I've built, just as your company is so efficient. And I put the link in the chat, MJ, because I know you've got your MJ Speaks up. So put it in the chat. And when anyone's listening on the replays, because this is the blessing with Clubhouse. If you're having a coffee break later in the day, and I'm sure me and MJ will, I know my delivery's been delayed because the sports bag I was after off them, mine needs sewing. The Go Beyond bag, well, they're out. So they've asked me what did I want instead, but because my broadband's broke here and the laptop with the coffee on, it doesn't connect to anything else. Alan explained it to me and I couldn't get my head around it, so I'm going to have to at some point work that out with Alan again, but that's not really high on my priorities. I'll just take the coffee machine, the laptop to anywhere else where there's Wi-Fi, but I've got to take my internet connection machine, whatever it's called, them 2 little boxes. Got to take them in and get the instructions off them in the envelope and send them back. I've been sending a lot of really cool stuff out in envelopes recently. And obviously the greatest thing is the Access to Work program. It's an incredible program that the government run. And I've been moving through it with your help and your company's help, because it is so, well, it's odd really how it works, but it does seem to be working now, which is great. So I'm looking forward to setting my plan on Sunday for next year, because I've still got a file with the plan that I printed off in January, but I think I'm gonna reprint a bank version of that and have another little go at it and look at where I'm at in relation to that one. So I'll say cheers on that front, Pete, because having these tools that incredible people have gifted you over the years allows you to set plans, and there will be setbacks. You might go sauna and steam room and break your back. Just saying. But you could also somersault off a wheelchair, which was one of the most hideous things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh,
Proper panic mode that day for me. I was like, whoa. And thankfully, you're still kicking and screaming, which is great. Because I was like, shit, it hit the fan. I was like, wow, that's not dancing at all. And it was such a fabulous event. All the art there. We've got just like Victoria has it, where you in your old neck of the woods. We've got one of them coffee shop cafes. It's not like the Dutch coffee shops, though. Strangely enough, although if you walk past the outside of it round here, you'd certainly think so. And you know what? That's people's choice. That's up to them what they do. I know they would probably say, Jim, you've bought too many bikes. And I'd say, I hear you. But the wax in my ear's a bit thick. So go you wax something else while I get my furniture waxed.
You enjoy your bikes.
Do me tile. I've got a crack tile filling thing here.
Good.
And it made me laugh because it's only a little battery powered heated up thing with all these coloured samples, and I thought, they're furniture wax, them. Why are they knocking at it? And it took me about 2 weeks. I read instructions, as you do when you buy some a couple of weeks later, once you get it back out of the bag that it was in. And I thought, right, that'll do all of the bits architrave, all the door frames were like, on my door frame, there's some that their builder's done to the garbage because he just put white filler in and not grained it. And I thought, well, it was one thing I used to really enjoy was graining with a bit of different coloured stains and do a bit of veining, because it's pine with God, it must have had a lot of branches in that tree. Remember? The furniture factory, we had one customer that rang up and took 3 different lots of furniture because she was so picky. And boss said, your most awkward customer, I will pay you to have the furniture back. I'd never heard a managing director insult someone so well. And I was just winding him up with saying, you want to find a tree with no branches in, please, Mark? And you just wind him up, because one of the painters had always say it was the dog muck that we had from China that was supplied. We would cover it with sprinkles, or like in ice cream, glitter and sprinkles.
I've got you.
Beautiful, that one, Dave. I'm not saying the S word, sugar, but
well, I hope you're weak.
Yeah, and when you talked before about your pet, Lucky. Yeah, well, Lucky did 17 years. She's amazing after that injury as a pup.
Isn't it?
I know my dad's thing was the tropical fish, and I had an accident in the front room. We'd had this tropical fish tank, huge thing it was. Had it about 10 or 20 years in there. And my dad had a lovely seat next to it, and when he'd come back from the nuclear factory, he would sit in front of it and just relax. It must have been a really, really stressful environment up there. And he'd sit in front of these fish, and I always used to think, well, Never understood it, and now I really understand. With the swimming that I do, I think, yeah, I could have like a stadium of fish. You know, if I had a fireplace, I'd probably put a fish tank in it, because the houses they're building these days, especially the government-funded social housing in St Helens, it's absolutely stunning what St Helens Council, the last council were doing, but we've got these new guys in now, and one of the bosses seems to be a bit of a grifter from Clacton, and I'm wondering what's going to happen here. I mean, the next village, we've got the Mayor of Manchester in the next village, who's going to be not the Mayor of Manchester pretty soon, who used to go to my school, and the village next door to that, the grifters guys, he's retiring from his 2-week job because the OnlyFans, the male OnlyFans that he was working on, whatever they call that, which is his choice, he kept it all secret. Probably not doing his tax returns or.
Not what we like to hear, is it?
Yeah, it's caused him a lot of problems, and I do feel for him on the mental health side. But if I keep everything bottled in, and I did a long while ago, keep everything bottled in, and it got to the point where I exhausted myself through over-exercise, and it ended up going into quite a psychotic episode. And a lot of people are having these episodes at the moment because of the media that's out there. It's quite disgusting, some of the angles that certain media companies are using. And their employees as well, who could be grifters, just saying, without mentioning any names. And of course, it without being political, last couple of weeks I couldn't vote because they said my ID wasn't good enough, my passport. And I was told that the one I'd had done by a council employee would be good, but clearly they fingered. But it does look like shortly the full, I would imagine the full St Helens Council will be getting rid of loads of folk, because they've got to put a mayor and a mayoress out of, and it'll be a mayoress first time round, and there's not many females within this bunch of grifters. So I am wondering who they're going to put in as because we've just had a male Labour mayor who's just finishing off his last few meetings, and he's been fabulous. And he looks just like one of the old aldermen, you know, with the beard and a big chap, big shoulders.
You've got a lot of news this week, James. Thank you so much. Look, it's gone at 8 o'clock, and I do have another appointment, unfortunately. But I'm just going to close on this and say thank you for everything you shared. It's lovely to hear you thinking about what's going on in your community, because what goes in our community, right, is to do with us. And your voluntary work and the work that you're planning on doing and the work with Access to Work is moving forward. You might not have everything that you asked for yet, but that's just, the way of life. We're moving forward and asking again.
My pleasure, MJ.
And I think today, even if you haven't got everything that you think you should have right now, move forward with what you've got. Think about where you are. Let go of what's no longer serving you. Put it down. Let it go. Don't ruminate about it. Don't go back on it. Yesterday's gone. Now's the time. And tomorrow you can make a plan. At the end of this week, think about writing that letter to your future self. I look back at mine, and go, 5 years ago, my plan is to go to Wales to become a social worker, and here we are in the last run. Don't dip out on yourself and just step up. Put your hand on your heart, one on your tummy, let go of what's not for you. Ask your brain what it is, your mind what it is it wants this week, and then move forward with just gentleness and love for yourself. And remember that progress is made by practice, not perfection. We don't make perfection by moving forward. We make progress. I hope your week is going to be progressive. Mine certainly is, because I've decided it to be so. If you do want to know what that coffee's about, give us a shout. If you want to go back to work, or you're at work and you've got disabilities, give us a shout. And that top left hand, no, wrong one, there we are. That top left hand QR code there is for my speaking site. If you'd like me to come along to your organisation and speak about disability, inclusion, accessibility, and creating a life that you deem is worth living, or your employees deem is worth living, whilst understanding what's available from this current UK government right now right here, right now. We are 100% funded, and we don't cost you anything in the UK. I look forward to seeing you next Monday at 7 on Motivational Monday. This will be live. It will also go onto a podcast. So have a look at the Accessibility Partners and Inclusion podcast. There's lots and lots of episodes. Episode 28. I think we're on 29 now. So have a look out there. Who'd have thought that we'd manage 30 nearly episodes of our podcast when we wondered whether we'd only do one. It just shows what you can do when you add up the action. Not the whole staircase, just one step today. Until tomorrow, where you might find that you've completed something that you started yesterday. Have a beautiful week. I will hope to see you here next Monday, either here or on replays or here live on social media. Have a fantastic week. Lots and lots of love. See you next week for Motivational Monday. Bye-bye.